Ugh. Tell you what, that cape thing was a nightmare to paint, this white base, but I'm finally done, so thought I'd have a stream now that I'm through with the grueling part. Why isn't this? Alright. So, now that this is nice and white, and this also nice and white, we can make them dragon red. I still have to brush apply this. Because otherwise it would look, I would have really nice coverage on this really easy part, but the little band, the stuff on the inside and then underneath and everything, it wouldn't have the same coverage. It would just look different. So the best way to keep it all uniform is to do it all with a brush. Unfortunately. Are there mixing balls on this? Yeah, that's what color I did that. So yeah, dragon red. For his chest, though, I'm going to make his diamond more of a metallic, so it'll be a slightly different red. It'll be whatever that red ink color is. So that should be fun. I'll probably end up using this dragon red for the mark on his forehead. Might as well just dispense this because I'm going to be here with red for a minute. We are doing it. I gotta be like, I haven't been streaming the last like week, but this took like 4 days. Just get through the base. White. I have no idea if I'm mixing this properly or not. I'll get a feel for it. We really don't mix up this much at once. But I'm gonna need it. Which, if I did, no, that appears to be pretty good. Alright, we'll let it ride. Let it ride. I guess the underside's as good a place to start as any. Oh, I left some paint in these apparently. wicked right up that brush, didn't it? Oh, that red's gonna go on nice. Like to start in a more inconspicuous place. I can sort of see how it's going to go. Going here with a more narrow brush. This red is bright. Okay, it's supposed to be bright, I guess. Kind of a flashy bitch. Doing this all inverted. It's easier to paint this way for these underside parts. The mess underneath there, but okay, nobody's gonna see it. But anything that is white has to be made red. You know what? This red is dark enough. I think painting it white may have been a waste of time. Oh well. It'll be nice and bright. What's up, Bean? We have not been missing anything. I've been painting this, and this has been a pain in the buttocks. But I'm now free of that pain, and I'm moving forward. Much to my chagrin, I also found out that I really probably wasted my time painting all this white. I could have just went in straight with the red and saved myself this extra round of torment. But here we are. How are you? That also means I have to be more careful around the little black stripy parts, because I can overwrite them with this red. There we go. Second coat it in a couple spots, but that's all right. Oh, see, I just hit it. Keep a clean water dish. Yeah, alright, well, this is going to slow me down. But this red is going on nice and smooth. So I'll take the win. I'll leave it pooled anywhere. Yeah, definitely gonna have to go back and second coat this. I have a smaller square brush. Let me see what I'm doing. I'm going to use this. It's loaded up anyway. Let me see if I got a smaller square brush. So I can see how much paint is in the bristles. Still up there. That's as clean as that's gonna get. Alright, what was I doing? I need something. Let's go with this. Oh yeah, square brush. Smaller square brush. That hopefully isn't screwed up. This one seems to be about the same size, just flat. I mean, square. Yeah, they're all the same size. This one's got a little more reach, though. All right. Let's see what this do. Yeah, definitely gonna do a second coat. Much better. Try to do these one at a time. That way I don't miss anything or overshoot anything. I need to correct. But yeah, painting these things white was not a good time. It's not a good time in the shop that we like to talk about. This is one of those statues that, like, I'll be glad that I did it, when it's done. But I would never do it again. Like, if somebody wanted to commission this or a Mr. Sinister, I would politely turn it down. Because this is no fun. It's a lot. But there's no there's no other way to do it. It's the way he was designed. I chose my punishment. I know what I did. I just didn't get. I don't think I really gave it the forethought, because like doing these little canopies that turned out, I had to do. I'm working on my third iteration of these canopies that I finally have a workable thing. What's up, Mike? Yeah, so I'm working on the third iteration of those canopies. I've got one on the print bed right now, and yeah, so I'm done with this one. This one goes on the list with what was the other one? That Spider-Man. That what's it called? Across the Spider-Verse. That Miles Morales. It goes in that category. It was a fun statue. I never want to do it again. Shot. All right. Man. I think my water needs to be changed out. Red just likes to run up that brush, doesn't it? Interesting. Alright, well, I'll worry about cleaning it later. I'm going to be doing a lot more damage with it. I have to use this little curvy brush. Get into some of these little weird spaces. Where was I? There it is. Yeah, trying to get these edges. Go back in there with some black. Red really seems to go far. The white does make it a little easier to cover, though. I'm glad I did it. Right. Cut it to the other side. That's another thing. Each one of these little ribbons, you know, the majority of them, I've got to hit all three sides. It was a lot. I didn't think I was going to make it. Starting to get a little hungry. I probably should have had dinner before I started this. Weird to do with a curvy brush. Like, I feel displaced. But at the same time, It forces me to focus on where the brush tip is, and allows me to kind of see around it. I think I should use this brush more often, because shit is kind of handy. Not gonna lie, it's one of the more useful brushes. Stuff on my hand. Alright. Now we'll go in and do the second coats all at once so that I can keep track of it. First things first, let's make everything that's white has to be red. We're just gonna achieve that. Oh, that really kind of burns my biscuit that I really didn't have to do this. I was kind of wasting my time. I didn't see any of this, but just in case, jam some color up in here. I should try to stay on camera. I keep turtling. Excuse me, if you heard that, it snuck up on me. I apologize. Dude, this is tedious. Like I said, if somebody was gonna pay me to do this, I wouldn't do it again. I'm gonna be happy to have this in my collection because I think it's gonna look really rad when I'm done. Like, I'm really happy with how the little brains and eyes and stuff. I'm really happy with how these things turned out. Those look cool. These little component parts, I mean, these are looking pretty rad. So the cloud, the smoke, you can't see it, it's off camera, and the little base. Like, I'm happy with how it's turning out. It's gonna be good. But man, this is the price of it, because it is extremely tedious. Like I said, the last very tedious statue I remember doing, at least at this level, that had like just so much little detail in it that was random, or not random, but it was just weird geometric shapes that had to be painted and stuff, was that Miles Morales statue. Yeah, that one I don't even have because it was a gift. But anyway, anywho, I have decided, though, I'm going to start evaluating my statues a little more, with a little more scrutiny, because like the canopies on this project, also the little things that cover the brains, like I said, I'm on my third iteration of trying to produce those to that were satisfactory. The regular clear resin was garbage. I tried to cast it with a deep pour, like a deep pour resin. I read later after I cast the thing that the silicone doesn't fully cure against 3D parts, 3D printed parts, which is ridiculous. So I had partially cured silicone in my molds when I poured in the resin, and so those turned out like crap, and my molds were crap. So that whole side quest of a thing went totally awry. I broke down and bought a nice bottle of the high clear resin from Anycubic. It was like $30 for just a 1 kilogram bottle, and finally have a nice quality. But now I just have to get them post processed, and that's turning out to be a bit of a challenge. So, but I'm closer. I'm ever closer to having canopies worthy of display. That too is a process, because like after they come out of the thing, you gotta wash them, you gotta let them dry, then you gotta coat them with the clear coat again with a brush. You gotta give them another clear coat, and then you gotta let those rest for several hours before you can put them in the cure box. And then yeah, and then they're done. But man, it takes a whole bunch of extra hours because you're waiting for it to dry, and you got to wait for another layer of resin to kind of rest. So it's just a process. I should probably put together a little color pot of black there just in case I need touch up. Don't I use an airbrush? Yeah, I mean normally I do. I mean, and I did for this part, like for the gradient for the blue to the black. I did that with the airbrush. This I can't do because I can't mask off enough that I wouldn't spray white and red all over the place. I could try to, but I would still have to go in to do this inner part with the brush anyway. So I might as well just do the whole thing with the brush, because you can't really mix the two. Like if one's brushed and one's airbrushed, like you can see a difference. At least I can. I suppose if you see a difference, that means one or the other isn't coated enough. But there's just something in the way the paint settles on a brush versus a airbrush. It just has a different look to it, Ugh, see how I gotta try to get in there. Are you shitting me? That's okay. I did it once. I can do it again. To be honest, I don't remember how I got in here the first time. Did I go in from the side here? Now that's going to get me in trouble trying to do that. This curvy brush isn't good for everything. Put my head on the camera. Right. Ooh, This is a whole lot of red. Sometimes it's less art and just more just labor. I'm not really doing anything fun right now, but it has to be done. I think when this is all done, once I finish getting this base coat on, I might go in and add just hit it with the this wash and just give it a little bit of a fade, so it's not like bright, and then this kind of sits in front of him on his head, and I could do the same sort of fade up from that, so it would be dark fade down, and then this little cowl here, or this little collar, it'd be dark and fade up, and I think that'll make his head look, his chest, it'll just accentuate his upper, that whole area. I think that's the plan anyway. Nobody can see any of this. So, slop this on a little bit. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not going to paint that. trust the process. And the process says the first coat's always going to look like poop. So we let it look like poop. And then we're going to come back and do another coat. And then it's not going to look like poop. But right now it's uncomfortable because it looks like poop. I don't like this little process game sometimes. But I guess that's part of the process. Well, they don't hit this black too much. I'll be in good shape. This red is going on pretty nice. It's nice this brush is flat enough to go under there too. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Should be a fun video to watch when it's all sped up. Tiny bit of curvature to that lip. Alright. Progress is being made. And I'll have to go in there something smaller. Oops. It's happening. Slowly but surely. Please don't call me Shirley. two-tone cape. Who has a two-tone cape? Come on, Mr. Sinister. Why you gotta be so flashy? Each one of these little fins has a ridge like in between. So that's what I'm kind of like riding along that ridge. But you can see it's just like a clear divide, you know, right through there. Little trench running through each one. So not only is there a lot, I also have to be very, very careful that I don't get a whole bunch of red on the black. Although it's much harder to see, so that's good. If I do get a little bit of overage, that's why I'm starting on the inside, because can't really see behind the figure that much. So good place to cut my teeth before I start working on the outer edge bits. That part, which is what are highly visible. But yeah, these little ridges, there's a little trench, got a little bit of curvature. I gotta hit them at an angle. And it's a pain in the arse. I'm really looking forward to the next statue. I've got Bane all printed, and he's ready to go. And so after I finish this and get the video and everything cut together and out the door, I'll start painting Bane, and by then I'll have my new M7 Max up and running, sitting over in a box on the other side of my office right now. But I want to wait until my studio is reset and I have a chance to clean everything out and reorganize before I unpacked, you know, yet another thing. I need to put away my original printer, my first little baby printer. I need to put that away. I haven't used them in a while. Probably never going to use them again, but I want to keep them around because, you know, nostalgia. And it's tiny. It was a super tiny, like the print bed was like the size of a deck of cards. So there wasn't, you know, a whole lot I could do with it other than, you know, it was my training wheels. Too much paint on here. But I am excited to have a budding print farm. It's pretty exciting. I've got enough room for got enough room for 2 more big printers in my cabinet before I'm out of cabinet space. I need to quit touching this spot right here. Thin it out one more time and then I'll leave it alone. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I've got enough space for 2 more big printers, and then that should be all I need, at least for a while. switch to that angled brush. Ooh, and I need to stretch my legs. I'll be right back. Break time is over. That was intended when I needed to slam down some food real quick because my belly's growling at me. Hard to paint when you can't concentrate. Man, I wish I remember how I got in there the first time. I must have just used that little curly brush. I say curly, I mean curved. Oh, fuck. I'm just slapping this paint around. Not in a fun way. Okay, well, this is pretty sure is hidden behind torso there. Yeah. You have to look super hard to see in there. Pretty dope though. It's starting to look like something. I'm glad I went with this bright red. My first thought was, oh no, it's too bright. But yeah, Mr. Sinister is supposed to have a bright red, in my opinion. He's a bit of a narcissist, I believe. So it would make sense he would have a big, bright costume. Not bright, but you know what I mean, for a bad guy. It's very flashy. Try. Yo, what's up, DL? Getting some progress in. Using the wrong brush. Oh, I gotta get this thing done so I can get the studio reset, cleaned up. Then I can unbox my new printer. still sitting over in the corner. Yeah, I'm gonna do definitely do one more coat on these main surfaces, and then I'm gonna hit it with the airbrush and do a gradient with the wash, so it's not so flat red. You know, give it a little bit of a shadow in here. It'll look nice, and it'll help. It'll help, you know, kind of balance it out. Oh yeah, the printer deal. Yeah, it is enormous. I love it. I can't wait to print on it. I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do Galactus on him. Actually, I've got Bane already printed, so I'm gonna go ahead and get him painted. But while I'm painting Bane, I'll be running calibration tests and stuff like that, getting it all ready to go, and then I think the first thing I want to run is a full size Galactus. I think that'll be dope as shit. And I can do it because he's standing on a really simple pedestal, so I can do that pedestal all in one shot, which is going to be awesome. I'm not going to have to do any. It's going to be big enough that I'm not going to have to do very little, you know, seam hiding. I'll be able to print pieces now, just like much larger. It's going to be great. I am nervous about using that whole pump system though, because I have heard some horror stories of it like accidentally discharging an entire bottle into the vat, you know, overflowing it and just ruining the printer. I've heard those kinds of stories, so I'm definitely not rolling without a screen protector, and that apparently is stuck in China somewhere, so it might be a little while on that. Hopefully, it should be just a few days. I think the last tracking update said it was on the flight, so I guess it's on its way to me. But yeah, I'm not putting resin in that thing until I get my screen protector. But then after that, it'll be off to the races. Well, I think. Are you talking about for the Galactus? Yeah, I think that's the model size that Wicked provided. I think that's the 1/6 scale, but it's huge. I mean, it's the size of a quarter scale. So if that's any like a regular quarter scale statue. I don't know. I did measure it though. It's gonna. Um, I may have to knock it down just to make it so that it fits in my cabinet, because I've got one more really tall spot for a statue, I think Galactus will be perfect. So it's definitely the first statue I want to run on the new bigger printer. I mean, I'll run them both in tandem, obviously, but that's the first statue I want to run, just for the base. That's the only reason I didn't do the Galactus already, was because A, I knew I was going to be getting a bigger printer, and B, the base wouldn't fit as one piece on my M3. So with this M7, should be good to go. Let's put you back over here, buddy. I don't think I'm going to get to you tonight. This is crazy. But yeah, I mean, stopping it or not, if it's 3 in the morning and I'm asleep, then I'm not gonna. I just don't want it to while I'm not around, malfunctioning or something. Like I said, I've seen stuff that people saying, or showing where their thing just like malfunctioned and just emptied a whole extra vat of resin into the thing and just overflowed it. So that's my only hedge, but I think it's going to be worth it. I will say, I will probably want to make sure to keep those probes in good working order. I don't know if there's a way to do maintenance on those, but I'm going there with that curvy brush to get the rest of that. Yeah. Oh, the little heated that's pretty cool. That came in a separate box. I wasn't expecting that. I've never used one of those. That's gonna be pretty neat. Yeah, anyway, I'm excited. I thought about doing an unboxing video, but I don't have the space for it, and I'm not hawking 3D printers. So painting spaghetti. close. Yeah, definitely have to go in here with some black. Get a couple spots. Oh, that's yeah, that is a good deal. I just loaded up on some. They had a deal at Anycubic while I was buying that printer. I went ahead and took advantage of it. It was like 40% off, so I got like 5 or 6 bottles for like $17 a bottle, which is pretty good. I mean, that's the lowest as I've ever seen it has been like $16 a bottle. So I took that. So my cabinet is stocked right now, so hopefully that deal will hold out for a while. Yeah, I don't have any more room. Got a very small shop, like the back third of my office. I am also excited for I ordered it's from a Kickstarter campaign for a foldable photo studio, and they're supposed to start shipping towards the end of September. So pretty stoked about that. That was a little birthday present to myself. Now I'm just looking forward to buckling down over the next couple months and just cranking out some statues and some videos and having a good old time. Close out my year of villains. Actually, I may have to close it out early because I've got to do a birthday or a holiday present set of presents, actually. So I may have to stop in November probably. So maybe, see, after I paint Bane, that'll take me into October. And I'll paint Galactus, that'll take me into November. Yeah, Galactus will be my end. I think the end of my my villain run. Holiday edition doesn't count. I'll still do some videos and some live streams, during that time. Ugh, gotta do a second coat on this. Man, this is gonna be a slog. I probably won't stream again until this is done, because it's gonna take a while, and it is not the most exciting thing to watch being painted. So I'll keep trucking for now, but next time you see this thing, it'll be done. Oh, that's why my thing is square. It's not the pointy one. That's why it's not working. That's what my mom would say, by the way. That's why that's not working. I miss that little Asian lady. Alright. I have to switch to a smaller brush soon because this big one is quickly running out of use. Good paint mover though. You need to move some paint. I'll do it. On there with that angled brush. And tell you what, this brush stays loaded with paint. I don't mind getting a little bit of red in there, but that's egregious. My OCD won't let that fly. Alright. angle. To reach. I should just hit that with black later. Painting all these things. What are these tines? Like panels? Like I don't even know what they call these. But I do know these are hard to paint. Oop, touch that up. Well, that was ugly, but it's done. Yeah, I think it's time to switch to something smaller. It's starting to get sloppy now. Not in a fun way. Get some of the stuff that I can reach. Quit messing around with all that stuff that I can't. It's slowing me down. little recessed fin in here, and I can't quite get to it. Oh, okay, I've gotten that far yet. I was like, what am I looking at here? I kept losing track of the fins. Hey, sorry, I was over here talking unmuted. This is the cape. So it's going on like this, and then he's got like this doodly bopper goes on there somehow. Does that go on? Okay, it goes like that. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, yeah, no, it was not. It was even less fun. Even less fun painting it. But it's almost done. I mean, I've got to do another coat of red, but I'm not going to make you guys suffer through that. I'm about to hang it up for the night anyway. I'm starting to get a little tired. Gotta go and do all these edges, and then do a second coat of all the flat spots. Then seal it. And then I'm going to do a little wash gradient on it. Make it a little more interesting so it's not just, you know, two-tone cape without shadows. A couple more steps. But yes, I'm never going to do this Mr. Sinister again. Not without serious pain in the ass tax. Because this serious pain in the ass. For his body, this is gunmetal. This is a gunmetal blue with some got some wash in there and some shadows. And then I just did a matte. Then I just did a matte black with a little bit of a blue dry brush over the black, you know, so you can see it's got a little bit of a highlight. And get some of the little edges, mainly for the legs, because like in his boots, I wanted his little muscles right here kind of stand out a little bit. So I gave them a little bit of a dry brush of a dark blue. I didn't want him to be so flat, and then I did like a gradient. I did kind of like a gradient blue to black on his cape here. I got a second coat all this. It looks like garbage right now, but you know, we trust the process. Hey, appreciate that. Iced mango. Right on. Yeah, I'm glad I went with the blue. I almost went with the black. Like I almost went with like a chrome black, but it was just too much black. It was just too much darkness. So the slight blue mixed in with the black, I think I like that look. And then for his big chest, the jewel on his chest, I'm gonna do that with a chrome first, and then do like a red ink on top of it. And then that'll give it a bit of a shine. Kind of go along with his armor. The jewel in his head, though, I'll probably just do this dragon red. Just paint it flat. Call it a day. I was going to do a metallic thing in his... I might do a metallic jewel in his head. I suppose I could do it with a brush. Just chrome it out first and then take a drop of ink and touch it. Wouldn't be that big of a deal. But yeah, painting all these little fins has been a slog. It'll last like 4 days. I mean, a couple hours every day. I mean, I'm not like a masochist, but it's still got, there's a whole bunch of stuff like up in here that you can't really see yet because I haven't gotten to it. But yeah, all this is, I'm just tired of painting this thing. I had to go around with the white twice and all the edges, and now I've got to go around with the red at least twice. So, bit of a haul, but it'll be worth it at the end. I should be able to get this done, like, if I work on this tomorrow off camera, finish getting it base coated, then I'll come back on and stream the rest. But yeah, this is torture for me. I don't think you guys really care to watch anymore. So, matter of fact, I think I'm done. Yeah, this is gonna be nice when it's all done. I can start to see it in my head now. Like I said, whenever I've got when it's on his torso, and I'm gonna do a wash down from the top, so there'll be a little bit of a dark fade to the red on each of the little things, and then on his collar, on his pop collar, I'll do a reverse. I'll gradient up from the bottom to the red at the top, and then that'll frame this whole area, you know. It'll frame his face much better. So, yeah, it should be good. Just gotta finish up all this, another coat, do the little gem, do the skin tone on his face and neck, eyes, teeth, and then we're done. But that is it for tonight. So thank you guys for hanging out. I will probably not be back on tomorrow, but I will be painting. So I'll catch you later in the week. But yeah. Till next time, take it easy.